Oi, when are we taking my son to college already? Well, I already know the answer to that question. It's in about 2.5, 3 weeks. But the feeling of I wish it could come already is real. Even my son said to me last week, I kind of just wish college would start already so I would know what it's going to be like. And I was like, I know what you mean, kiddo. I kind of want to know for myself too. And we both just kind of sat in a moment of, yep, but not really knowing sure what to say next. There's a lot of unknown for both of us. All this focusing on when is this going to happen, the packing, the flying out, the buying his stuff, the moving day, the drop off, all of it. Just wanting to get to the other side. But at the same time, a lot of me isn't ready either. And as I looked around his bedroom the other day, so many memories, toys, things, books, remnants of previous milestones come and gone. I also want time to slow down just one more time. And that split, wanting it to hurry up while also not being ready, is really mixed energy. And it feels so intense right now. And honestly, it's kind of tricky to manage. And I know this actually from other life transitions, especially being in the military, moving every few years. There's this phrase that we call for this, which is hurry up and wait. It's before we move, we have all the plans to move and we're rushing to get ready and all the checklists checked. And then we would sit and wait, not knowing exactly when the next thing would start. And that's what this pre college drop off feels like. We've checked so many checklists, right? Oh my gosh, all the things that need to get done. And now it's this pause before we pack and get on our way. So it's really this interesting tension, the wanting the pause to end, but also wanting it to stay, wanting it to hurry up while also not being ready. And that split, like I said, really is difficult energy to navigate. I'm wondering how it's showing up for you. Are you pulling away? Do you feel your kid might be pulling away too? Maybe not intentionally, but just kind of realizing a shift is happening and not sure what to do about it, if anything. I actually noticed this for myself, this pulling away, kind of because I'm preparing my heart and my mind, or maybe both. And I think this happens with many moms weeks before their kid leaves. And like I said, it's not on purpose, it's more like a kind of pre grief, guarding the heart early so it doesn't hurt as much later. I remember this happened to me just from the other side. When I moved from Brooklyn to San Francisco, this was right after college. The week before I left, my mom got so mad at me, and I don't even remember what it was about. I just remember thinking, why is she yelling at me right now before leaving? You'd think she'd be nicer, not angrier with me leaving so soon. And I didn't get it then, but I get it now. Getting mad at someone for no reason is so much easier than being sad for a very good reason. And I don't find myself wanting to yell at my son so much as sometimes there's like this bubbling feeling of being impatient with him at times and really having to catch myself from blowing up and getting frustrated. But even if I haven't quite been in the mode my mom was, I've noticed a different type of pulling away from feeling like I was responsible for him. For example, we're at the beach recently, our last family vacation before college. Crazy hot sun, the kind that used to worry me when I knew I had to be the one to protect my son from getting burned. That was on my to do list anytime we're out in the water during the summer. And even though my son is darker toned than me, he's gotten burned before. Not badly, like blisters, like I usually get without protection, but enough that I'd remind him, even though he could put the sunscreen on himself. But this time, the other weekend, I didn't say anything. He knows he should put it on, right? But I has a pause before saying anything. It just isn't my job anymore to remind him. And it wasn't from a place of, well, we'll see what happens. It was just a very subtle realization. He knows he can make his own decisions, and I also don't have to remind him or nag him. And then later on in the same vacation, we're at the airport coming home. The flight was delayed an hour, but it was finally time to board. And my husband asked, "Where is he?" And my first thought wasn't worry. It wasn't like scanning the terminal, like, where is he? I actually felt myself say to myself, well, he'll figure it out. And I caught myself in that moment, realizing the thought had come so easily. For a split second, I questioned my own lack of concern. Like, shouldn't I be more worried? The flight's supposed to board in a few minutes. But then the next more knowing thought was, nope, he's got this. My husband did go and check in the direction he'd walked, but he was already on his way to the gate by the time my husband spotted him. And then there's a third way I've noticed this kind of like shift in this place that I'm in right now. And this example is more about me than him. But back in June, I had this window to check graduation announcements off my list, order the cards, send them out, done. But they took longer to arrive than expected. And somewhere in that delay, I just stopped trying to get them mailed. And I still have them, $150 worth of cards sitting over there on the dining room table. And here's the part I only just realized. The card says my son graduated. It also says where he's going to college. Same card, same writing since the day I ordered it. But somewhere along the line, without meaning to, I stopped reading it as he graduated and started reading it as he's leaving. Nothing on the card changed. I did. And maybe some part of me has been putting off sending the cards because sending them makes it feel real. So maybe pulling away doesn't only look like guarding your heart. Maybe it also looks like this, quietly stepping back from the job of remembering things for him, being concerned, being frustrated at every habit of his, checking this and checking that. Or maybe you can relate to me not mailing out a stack of cards. But either way, this hurry up and wait made me realize it doesn't change from transition to transition. And so for me, I'm thinking about how I used to cope and make the most of this hurry up and wait before our moves in the military. And now I'm trying to figure out this hurry up and wait before my son goes to school. And what I learned was this. In this in-between time, I don't have to just get through it. I get to choose what to do with this time, however long it feels, or however short it feels. So maybe the question isn't, when is my kid leaving already? Maybe it's, what am I going to do right now with this time that's actually left? You may have a month, a few weeks, however it is for you. For me, what it comes down to is, what would my future self thank me for? What might I regret not doing or being really glad I did for my kid or for myself? And I don't really have an answer for that, right? I'm still sort of sitting in it. Same as you. But if part of your answer is, what would your future self want from you, not just about your kid, I'd start with knowing what actually matters to you right now. And I made a video about that, working through your own core values. It's linked below if you want to start there. And if you want to know more than one video's worth, my book, Your Life Transition Toolkit, How to Weather What Comes and Embrace What's Next, comes out this September. When you join the wait list, I'll send you the core values list from that video too, so you can actually sit down and start to work through it yourself, to kind of like figure out more about what your future self might want from you now. Anyway, we're in this together, and I will be back and share more things with you in the next few weeks and months. Take care.